Math team is hard. I mean, really hard. This is for two reasons. 1, you don't have a study guide to prepare you for each test. 2, no two questions follow the same format. You'll see similar questions that use similar tricks, principles, and formulas, but it's up to you to put it all together. Back in algebra class, your teacher would spend a couple days teaching you the quadratic equation, then he or she would give you a practice question like, what is x if 5x squared plus 26x plus 5 is 0? Then a couple days later, you'll get a test and your question will be, what is x if 6x squared plus 37x plus 6 is 0? They're different numbers, but it's the same principle. Use the same equation and solve it just like the practice problem. In math team, you generally don't know what topics will be covered on your test. When you do know the topic, it'll be something general like circles. That can mean questions about chords, about inscribed angles, about tangent circles, or a number of other subtopics. One thing I found to be frustrating was when I got a question that seemed doable, and then I spent several minutes perplexed, only to later find out that I needed to use some formula or technique that I just didn't know. Math team should not test how much you know. It should test how well you can apply it. And with that in mind, I'm creating a series of videos that will cover every formula and theorem that you need to know for math team. I'm planning on this being a 7-part series with each video focusing on a different topic. The first will be algebra. It'll cover these formulas. Next up is geometry with these theorems. Then trigonometry. Then probability. Then recursion, sequences, and series. Then complex numbers. And lastly, modular arithmetic. The purpose of my segments is to go over what you will need to know and how it will be applied. A majority of each segment will be spent with a variety of real math team questions. I hope to explain my thought process when faced with each question, and I hope to explain which key words and which key situations should make you think to use each theorem. I won't be going over every possible theorem. There are some things that you should have learned in class like the quadratic formula. And there are some formulas that you could learn but aren't terribly useful when doing math team questions. Again, math team is hard because you aren't going to use the same theorem in the same way each time. You have to be able to apply them in a variety of creative ways. The only way to get better at this is to learn what information should flick on the light bulb inside of your head and encourage you to use each theorem.